Why do rich, attractive men end up going sometimes for plain-looking women? Now I'm going to really investigate this mystery and really find out exactly how it works and why these men end up choosing these women. But on top of it, the big question will still remain. Should we, as aspiring women who want to level up, should we just put the whole level up on hold? Because clearly, plain women also have a chance. Let's find out in today's video. Welcome to the School of Affluence. My name is Anna and I run an online finishing school called the School of Affluence. There I help women achieve elegance and navigate successfully in the high society. If you're interested in starting this type of transformation, join the schoolofaffluence.com. And of course, if you're new to this channel, subscribe. I upload weekly content on the topic of the finer things in life, luxury lifestyle, and leveling up as a woman. First things first, girls. Why do rich men choose plain-looking women? Now, we first have to understand that this is not the most common practice. Majority of the times, rich men afford to be selective, so they usually end up going for more beautiful women. That is usually the norm. However, you do have a smaller group of rich, attractive men who do go for more plain-looking, more simple women, in some cases even unattractive women. Now, unattractiveness is of course relative. There are no women who are actually ugly. It's just that we have particular beauty standards set, and I am generalizing it and talking about what's conventional beauty. And when people go against the conventional beauty norm, then that's kind of what we're investigating here. Now, secondly, you all know that I always say that the world is very multifaceted, three-dimensional, people are different, there isn't one-size-fits-all approach. And that is exactly the case in this situation as well. So there isn't just one reason to why rich, attractive men choose plain-looking women. There are many reasons to that. And you have to look at the man in a deeper picture. You have to look at his character, his current situation, his age, his culture, his upbringing. So the first thing that comes to my mind, and actually other people's minds as well, when we discuss this topic, is how insecure the man is. You see, many men, just as women, can be insecure, and I think it's a little bit of a myth that women are more insecure than men. Actually, if you look around, you will see that many men have a lot of insecurities. It's just that they don't really express these insecurities verbally as much as women do. So these insecurities often go unnoticed, but they still exist. Now, in this case, a man's insecurities can affect this case in two different ways. Now, the first way, a man who is very insecure about himself might not realize actually what a catch he is. He might think that he's not attractive, although he's handsome, he's rich, and all women would die to be with him. But he just doesn't know it. He can't see it. He devalues himself, meaning he also devalues kind of his criteria for when he's looking for a partner. Usually when we search for a partner, we search for somebody who is kind of within our own league. So in this case, a man would go below his league because he thinks that he belongs in the lower leagues. Now, the different parts of an insecure man choosing a less attractive partner can actually be for something that is more have to do with control. A man who is very insecure with himself feels that he doesn't want to have a very attractive partner because that makes him feel even more insecure. So for him to be in control over his partner, he chooses a partner who is less attractive so that he feels more safe with her. Like this, he knows that men are not going to be approaching her, she's not going to cheat on him, she's not going to just run off, so he can just relax and have a peace of mind. You see, a lot of people actually prefer this. That is also a separate reason to why some men end up going for less attractive women, because they just want to play it safe. As we're speaking about this whole control and insecurity issue that men have, there is actually a third very common reason. Now, some insecure men have jealousy issues. They might really feel like they have to have a woman who for sure is not going to run off, for sure they have full control of, so that they can feel less jealous. Basically, that controls their own jealousy if they control the woman. Now that's that on insecurities. We also have to understand that not everybody finds beauty the same way. There's actually been research done on this when they have showed all kinds of different women to different men. Men really disagree when it comes to beauty and looks of women. That some men can rate a woman, only give her 1 point, while another one will give her a 5 point. And it does happen all the time. Even the girls that are perhaps not conventionally beautiful, men would still rate them as a 10 out of 10. You have to understand that not everybody thinks that Angelina Jolie is beautiful. And it's really just an individual preference and choice. Some like oranges, some like apples. So a girl that is perhaps plain looking or unattractive in some people's eyes might be actually very attractive in this man's eye. So if a man is with a plain Jane, he might not be seeing her as a plain Jane because her appearance to him is very, very attractive, while to the rest of the world, nobody's understanding it. And I think that in today's society with all beauty norms, we have it so hard to understand and accept that this is how it is. We really think that there's just one way and no other way. And that's also what's causing us a lot of anxiety and why everybody ends up looking the same way, which is a bit of a shame actually, because there is something for everyone out there and people do like it differently, even rich men. Now, putting beauty a little bit aside, we also have to understand that people have different preferences. When they're looking for a partner, they might not be valuing beauty as the number one. You might know that I speak quite a lot about the fact that, which is a biological fact, that men tend to value beauty as their number one preference when choosing a mate, and women value the financial, material, and status side of a man as a number one. And those are usually our differences. However, we have to also accept the fact that not all men are equally made in terms of testosterone, in terms of how they are choosing a mate. Not all men are obsessed about beauty and looks. Majority of men are, but not all of them. So when we're seeing these couples, there are perhaps other things that this man finds sexy or turns him on or he values or he prefers in a partner. Those things can be maybe assertiveness or wisdom in a person or intelligence or how she is as a caregiver or how she's in bed. I mean, there are many reasons that make a person, it's not only beauty and looks. Even though beauty and looks are important, obviously, because humans are quite visual, but it's not everything. And humans are multifaceted, so there are so many sides to us that play an important role. And some men just end up choosing those other sides and value them higher than the actual looks. Another thing to think about, and this is very common with the high society, especially in the old money or family money category of rich people. I many times have witnessed average women, like plain Jane deluxe, very unattractive perhaps, is with a handsome man who comes from a very nice background, very rich and very respected in the social scene, and you're like sitting there wondering, what went wrong here? In the high society, especially with family money, old money families, the man of such upbringing would really value other assets of a woman than necessarily her beauty. His family might have educated as he was growing up that he has to find a woman for him, obviously who makes him happy and blah, blah, blah. But a woman who comes from a well-educated background perhaps, who comes from the perhaps right family or has a particular path in life. So a wealthy man of that kind will put that as his top preference when he's looking for a partner, and the beauty aspect of it will come secondary. I think all of you have heard about how timing is everything when it comes to finding a mate. Did you know that actually to nail down a guy for a serious relationship or marriage is usually just bound to timing? Yeah, some people call it pure luck, but it's timing, really. It's hard, especially these days, to nail down a guy, to secure a guy, because men have become extremely spoiled. Men have many, many options, and women give it up too easy for men. The roles have shifted dramatically in our modern society. However, If you manage to catch a man in the moment where he's weak or vulnerable, and you manage especially to reach his heart during this time, that's usually when you are securing the guy. So sometimes when these plain looking women, they might have just secured the guy by timing, because they were there at the right time, in the right moment, maybe being his friend, maybe dating him casually, and he was vulnerable, he was weak, maybe there was things going on in his life. These women could have just been very lucky that they caught him in that moment, and they managed to hook him regardless of how she looks like. There is one particular type of guy I know for a fact. They're very common, like in the model industry, but you also have them in the high society. A guy who is obviously very good looking, but who is tired of the superficiality around his looks, and maybe also tired about being a little bit objectified for his looks. All the attention can sometimes drive a person sick of it, and they want to do the opposite, which is why I tend to call this guy the rebel of the looks. So he decides to find a partner based on other criteria totally different from everything that he has experienced. Now that goes a little bit hand in hand when you have the type who are just tired of shallowness general, okay? They might not be so tired about all the fixation about their own looks, but they just want to have more depth into their life. A lot of the times these guys have already dated like models, I don't know, celebrities. They tried it all and they realized that actually a lot of the times all these beautiful girls are perhaps very self-obsessed, very shallow, not very intelligent, and just really obsessed about like wealth and status. So they end up wanting to have somebody who is more down to earth. For that reason, these guys seek out women who are just a little bit less attractive so that they feel they are able to find that depth. So lastly, there is one more category type of man that I've come across. And this type of category, I usually tend to stay away from it because I find them a little bit odd. The guy who wants all the limelight on himself. Now this is usually the more narcissistic personality. The guy who wants to be the center of attention, even in a relationship. Now, in most relationships, we do understand that the woman is usually the center of attention. The woman is the queen. The woman is the one who carries the beauty. That's why I find this category of man to be a little bit disturbing, because he wants to be the center of attention. He's a proper attention seeker who either is so insecure that that's how he feels appreciated and loved, and he cannot share that spotlight with anybody else but himself. For that reason, he chooses to get a less attractive woman so that all eyes can be on him. Now, I'm very curious, girls. Share in the comment section. Let me know exactly what you think around this topic. Why do you think rich, handsome men go for the plain-looking women? Now, I promised you to answer the very important question that I know a lot of ladies, especially in my online finishing school, are dying to find out. So if I'm trying to level up, should I just not bother? If plain-looking women can do it, then why should I personally obsess so much about leveling up? Clearly, you can get by regardless. My answer to this, ladies, is the more you level up, the more opportunities you will have. Yes, you should bother, because the better your looks are, the more assets you will have, meaning that the more opportunities will land in your lap. You will have a bigger selection of men to choose from, and you will have more benefits in the society, because society tends to be more rewarding to beautiful people. That's just how it works. I don't know why. I did not create these rules, but this is how it is. So let's play by the rules in our benefit. And that's basically what this is all about. So I don't want you to take a step back now and relax with your looks. I still want you to nurture yourself, look your best, especially so you can feel your best. But most importantly, don't forget to level up all layers of yourself, not only the looks. And if you're interested in leveling up and really have guidance and direct coaching from my end, then join schoolofaffluence.com. This was the end now of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, and to comment, and of course to subscribe if you still haven't done so. Girls, I will see you in the next video.